So I basically said to
Good evening. Welcome to the Township of Abington's Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, May the 12th, 2016. And may I have a roll call, please?
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here. Be advised, Commissioner Tom Farron is excused for the evening. At this time, would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have one announcement before we get started, that there was an executive session held on Monday, May the 2nd, at 7:30 p.m. on a litigation matter. And before we get into presentations, I'd like to thank Vice President Stephen Klein for chairing the Board of Commissioners meeting last month, in the month of April. So he did a fine job, and I thank you for that. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Michael Markman for a presentation.
Noah Berkowitz. So I had the pleasure a couple years ago of giving a certificate to Noah's brother, and now Noah has become an Eagle Scout. And what's truly to be commended is the fact that Noah recognized the fact that there was not pretty much a food service in a portion of Philadelphia, and he put together a group of volunteers to coordinate a food collection drive benefiting the Food for Hope Food Bank located in the Fox Shades neighborhood during the summer months. So previously there's a free lunch program available there, and so he recognized the fact that there wasn't a free lunch program, got a group together, collected food so that people could eat. Obviously, hunger is a big problem, and I think he did an exemplary job of putting together a group of people. And with that in mind, I would like to commend Noah and hand him a certificate for Eagle Scout and commend him from the Township of Abington. Get a picture. And you want to say, Noah, who's here with you?
My father is here. He's just one of the people that helped me. He was a very big part of the project.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah, and thank you, Mr. Berkowitz. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Lori Schreiber, who has a commendation.
Good evening, everyone. So you just heard about an Eagle Scout, and we are fortunate in Abington Township to have many Eagle Scouts who have done wonderful projects throughout the area. In my particular ward, I've gone to several, and I know all the other commissioners have gone to Eagle Scouts ceremonies at various times throughout the years. The first Eagle Scout, I believe this is the first Eagle Scout ceremony I ever went to, was Kevin Bloomfield. And since then, I've been to not one, not two, but 3 Bloomfield Eagle Scout presentations. And I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the only family that has 3, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but has 3 Eagle Scouts in the same family. And so we just really believe that that was something that was worthy of recognition at the Board of Commissioners meeting. So I'd like to call the Bloomfield family to come up here. I'm afraid if I say what each of you did as your projects, I might get it wrong. I know St. John's, Briarbush, and Roslyn Park. Is that right? Oh, I got it right. Okay. So all throughout the Roslyn community. But this is really to the parents here who have raised such wonderful sons that they were able to help their community in that way. So this is Joseph and Deirdre Bloomfield. The Abington Township Board of Commissioners is proud to recognize the efforts of Joseph and Deirdre Bloomfield, whose 3 sons, Kevin, Patrick, and Ryan, have attained the rank of Eagle Scouts in the Boy Scouts of America in 2006, 2008, and 2015, respectively. It takes a considerable amount of guidance, support, and direction for a parent to see their son reach the rank of Eagle Scout. For one couple to raise 3 Eagle Scouts is simply remarkable. The Board of Commissioners publicly congratulates Joseph and Deirdre Bloomfield for their accomplishment, as well as those of your sons, and thanks the entire family for the honor you have brought to Abington Township. So congratulations.
Their leader, because they would not be up here without him.
Projects or anything? Tell us about your project.
Yeah, I built a 100 feet brush pile fence at Briarbush Nature Center, and we would also like to thank our parents.
Thank you. Our thanks to the Bloomfield family. My thanks go to Commissioner Markman and Commissioner Schreiber. Now, at this time on our program, it calls for a moment of silence in honor of the passing of Dee Dee Long, as well as Roger Wilson's son and his son's family. But I think in order to give proper justice to both individuals and both situations, if you could just bear with me as I give you a little bio or background explaining both families and both individuals. First, Dee Dee Long. It is with deep sadness that the family relates the passing of longtime Briarbush director Dee Dee Long. Dee Dee Long was executive director of Briarbush Nature Center since May of 1979, retiring in March of 2010, which totals 31 years of service to Abington Township, leaving a legacy that will endure over the years to come. Dee Dee embraced the Abington Township, the Parks Department, and the entire community to lead the Briarbush Center into the 21st century by improving environmental literacy and outdoor education and recreation opportunities for area residents. From her arrival at Briarbush, Briarbush has seen a great deal of growth. From a staff of 1, it grew to a department that now has 7 full-time and 9 part-time employees. The nationally recognized partnership that Briarbush shares with Abington Township, Abington School District, and the Friends of Briarbush has made a difference. Now, her bio is pages long, so I have, for the sake of time, I have to pass over a lot of things, but just to give you an idea of Dee Dee and what she meant to a lot of people. In 2008, Briarbush celebrated its centennial with special events, parties, and programs occurring throughout the entire year. Funds raised from these events supported the New Entrance, Sustainability Initiative, a major playscape, and the Friends Endowment Fund. Dee Dee masterminded these activities and obtained sponsorships from start to finish. Her life's mission was to instill the love of nature into every child and adult she could, and she did this with great success. When Dee Dee retired to St. Simon's Island in Georgia in 2010, the entire community mourned losing this force of nature. Her friend and colleague Monica Embry wrote, as follows. These words in celebration of Dee Dee's winning the Nature Center Leadership Award in 2015. Monica wrote, "To me, Dee Dee Long is the embodiment of life and nature. She has lived what she learned and practiced what she preached. She has embraced life and environmental education to the fullest, and I don't know how she could possibly have given back any more professionally or personally. She is truly a remarkable person who has enriched the lives of all who have met her through her love of life and nature. I cannot think of anyone more deserving. So Dee Dee, for 31 years of service to Abington Township, we all thank you." Now, secondly, and even more distressing, is the news of that we recently received about the family of Roger Wilson. Now, to those of you who don't know, Roger Wilson is a Township Refuge Department employee under Ed Michelow. Last week, his son and family were involved in a serious automobile accident in the East Falls section of Philadelphia. Roger's 21-year-old son and seven-week-old granddaughter both died as a result of the injuries sustained in the accident. Roger's daughter-in-law is in critical condition. Her 6-year-old son also perished in the accident. Our hearts and prayers go out to Roger in this time of unimaginable grief. Now, Township employees have been collecting money to help defray some of the funeral expenses. Should any resident wish to support this effort, they should direct their contributions payable to Roger Wilson, care of Abington Township, and can submit them right to Michael Lefebvre's office. So please keep Roger and his family in our prayers. So with that, if everyone would stand and just share a moment of silence for both of these families and individuals. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to get approval of the minutes, and I call on Vice President Stephen Klein.
Thank you, President Luker. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the Board of Commissioners meeting of April 14th, 2016.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners or staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Name and address, please. Please.
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane. We worked for quite a long time to be able to get the Friday packets available to residents. Initially, when I started, the Friday packet was at the township supposedly, but we would come and nobody knew where it was. Then it was at the township. Then we worked hard to get it into the website documents so that we could get it from home. So we thank you for that. That's been a great help. The minutes of the meeting for a little while were in there, and then they disappeared. I assume under the guise that drafts are not necessarily public documents. That's my guess. But if we come to the meeting and we haven't read the draft of the minutes, which can be published with great big draft all over it, and we haven't read that, we can't say whether we have any corrections or not, and many times there are. So I would just appeal to you, please, to put them back in. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Tom Hector, Director of Public Works.
Thank you, President Luker. The Public Works Committee has 4 items of business this evening. The first is PW1, and this is the 2014 bond issue, Phase 3 storm sewer projects. And this is a motion to approve and enter into contract with Associated Paving Contractors Incorporated for the 2014 bond issue, Phase 3 storm sewer projects in the amount of $359,750 to be funded from the 2014 bond, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. PW2, this is the Highland Avenue Storm Sewer Project, and this is a motion to approve advertisement of bids for Highland Avenue Storm Sewer projects in the amount of $195,000 to be funded as follows. $95,000 will come from the 2014 bond, and the remaining $100,000 will come from fund balance, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Commissioner Spiegelman.
Just briefly, Mr. President, for the benefit of commissioners and others who weren't here at Public Works, this is the culvert project on Highland Avenue, very near the junior high back entrance on Tyler Road and the senior high entrance. And this is going to benefit safety and quality of life for pretty much everyone who drives on Highland Avenue, because this culvert is really starting to collapse. And particularly all the school buses that take kids to the junior and senior high. This is something that will benefit everyone in the township. So I thank every commissioner in advance for your support, please.
Thank you. Any comments from staff or any comments from other commissioners? From staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. PW3, and this is the Old Welsh Road Sanitary Sewer Project, and this is a motion to reject the bids for the Old Welsh Road Sanitary Sewer Project, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents?
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane. I emailed Mr. Lefevre this afternoon, so he would, if I didn't get an answer before the meeting, he would at least be, alerted to what I was looking for. The question of the appraisals for this project came up at $2,000 per. And the Tyson Avenue appraisals, I said, everybody I talked to said how high those were. The Tyson Avenue appraisals, I was able to acquire the figure from Mr. Lefevre, thank you, and it was $239,000 for 212, and that comes out to $1,000 and something. And to my recollection, Mr. Clark had said that the Tyson Avenue ones were far more intricate than the ones on Old Welsh Road. So I would like to see if we could get an answer on that. Hopefully they're prepared tonight to give some kind of an answer as to why we have $2,000 appraisals on one project and the more intricate appraisals are $1,000. I think they were $1,100 or $1,300.
Well, if I heard you correctly, you said you emailed the township manager earlier today. He's been tied up and off-site, so, Michael, did you want to comment on that or get back to Ms. Freeman?
Thank you, Commissioner Luber. I haven't had a chance to look at my emails. I think I have 52 emails waiting in my inbox. I will look at it tomorrow and respond accordingly to the speaker.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. And PW4, and this is the Edge Hill Road, Tyson Avenue Funding, Flood Control Street Reconstruction Project, Reimbursement Agreement Number 064132-B, Supplement C. And this is a motion to approve the funding for Edge Hill Road, Tyson Avenue Part 2 for final design. Funding to be covered from fund balance. 80% of this funding will be reimbursed from the state in the amount of $593,082.43, and I so move.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you, President Luker. That concludes our business.
Thank you, Commissioner Hecker. At this time, Commissioner Ben Sanchez, Director of Code Enforcement Land Development.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Code Enforcement and Land Development Committee has no business at this time.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we call on Commissioner Laurie Shriver, Director of Public Safety.
Thank you, President Luker. We have two items this evening. PS1 is a motion to adopt Resolution Number 16020, authorizing and directing the Township Manager to apply and sign forms required by FEMA for snow removal costs associated with Winter Storm Jonas in January 2016, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners?
Oh, no.
Commissioner Kalinowski?
No.
Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
We actually have 3 items tonight. I said 2. I meant 3. The second one is motion to adopt ordinance number 2118, amending Chapter 156, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking Regulations, Section 25, Parking prohibited at all times, no parking between signs, no parking here to corner, parking prohibited except certain hours, no stopping or standing at the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Commissioners on May 12, 2016 at 7:30 p.m., and I so move.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
And the third item this evening is a motion to advertise ordinance number 2119, amending Chapter 156, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, Section 14, Stop Intersections, and Article 3, Parking Regulations, Section 25, Parking prohibited at all times, no parking between signs, no parking here to corner, parking prohibited except certain hours, no stopping or standing, for adoption at the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Commissioners on June 9th, 2016, at 7:30 p.m., and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners?
Wayne.
Commissioner Hecker.
Thank you, President Luker. I unfortunately was unable to make the committee meeting last week, but part of this agenda item involves Rockwell and Rubicam, and I wanted to express my appreciation and gratitude to everyone involved as part of this comprehensive planning to make Rockwell Road safer. The installation of this 4-way regulated intersection near the Crestmont train station, in addition to the sidewalks which are currently being installed, are going to make a considerable difference, and I'm grateful to everyone for their assistance.
Thank you, sir. Any comments, other commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
President Luker, before we close this committee, may I just make a real quick statement?
Yes.
Thank you. At the Public Safety Committee meeting, a resident got up and spoke about the Private Pension Association fund drive letter. And enclosed in that letter is an emergency card that you would put your emergency information on and send into the police department for emergency contacts. It was suggested at the meeting that perhaps the card had something to do with the letter and a donation. And of course, Chief Kelly straightened that out. But I received my letter, and like many of us, at first I skimmed it, and then I read it. And I'd like to share just a paragraph that's on this letter with everyone, because I think the letter makes it quite clear that the card has nothing to do with the fund drive. Whether or not you are able to make a donation, please complete and return the enclosed confidential emergency file card. Having this card on file will enable the police department to continue to provide you with the best possible service in an emergency. That is not in small print, and my suggestion is that when you receive a letter, to read all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers.
That concludes our agenda this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Schreiber. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Spiegelman, Director of Public Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, at the end of an agenda, committee agenda, there's no public comment.
Was that not part of the item?
No, there's no public comment at this time. Thank you. Be seated, please. Thank you. Commissioner Spiegelman, Director of Public Affairs. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, the Public Affairs Committee has 2 items, the first of which is PA1, Resolution Number 16-019, supporting a grant application to TCDI for Walk Park Train Abington. There's a motion to adopt Resolution Number 16-019, approving Abington Township to submit an application to the Transportation and Community Development Initiative, TCDI. The grant submission will support the walk park train concept of the master bike plan, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any comments from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Second and final item is PA2, Penn State Abington, Abington Township Scholarship Program Guidelines. This is a motion to approve the Penn State Abington, Abington Township Scholarship Program Guidelines, setting forth the purpose, criteria, requirements, guidelines, amount, timeline, and award of the $30,000 annual allocation, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any comments from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And, Mr. President, that concludes the Public Affairs agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner Spiegelman. At this time, Vice President Stephen Klein, Director of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, President Luker. And I'll start by calling on Treasurer Jay Blumenthal for the Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein and Commissioner Myers. I wish everybody would read the letters from the tax office and answer them, because it doesn't happen that often. So since this meeting is moving along so quickly for the matter of expediency, my reports are in front of you, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Treasurer Blumenthal, and also that all the Treasurer reports are available at the Township Manager's office or the tax office. FC1, no, there was no business.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have three agenda items. FC1, motion to A, approve the March expenditures as previously circulated to the board in the amount of $2,927,831.16 and salary and wages in the amount of $1,791,199.69. And B, authorize the proper officials to sign vouchers in payments of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of June 2016, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
FC2, motion to approve the advance and travel expense activity for March 2016 as previously circulated to the board. Advance and travel expense reports were $0 and $4,247.27 respectively. 3-month expenses totaled $11,633.33, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Any from residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC3, motion to approve the clearing fund, the deferred revenue, expense activity, and petty cash balances for the month of March as previously circulated to the board. Clearing fund receipts and disbursements for the month of March 2016 were $782.75 and $0 respectively. Deferred revenue expense receipts and disbursements for the month of March 2016 were $1,837.99 and $907.26 respectively, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff or residents? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And that completes the Finance Committee's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. There's nothing for pensions, so that concludes our formal business at this time. At this time, I see one resident. I will take comments from the public. Edith Schmidt. Name and address, and if you would adhere to the 3-minute rule, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
Edith Schmid, 1160 Bradford Road for the brick and mortar businesses of Abington. We just have a few questions. As you know, the holiday was just here. We realized that permits were indeed issued. We were curious as to how many permits were issued. Were they issued on each location, or was this a blanket permit? Meaning this permit was given and you could do as many as you felt necessary on that. The second question we have, the permits governing all locations as they are legal or illegal status, correct? Whatever happens on one reflects on the others, correct? That's what we're asking. In other words, if there was one permit issued and there was a blanket and you were only given certain locations, and we have discovered that there was one location that should never have been on there and it was used, that's an illegal use, correct? That's what we're asking. Clarification. Have landowners also provided the township with their rental agreements to these pop-up stations? I have applied, or we have applied for a right to know, and I'm sure Mr. Lefebvre will get that to us as soon as he can. I know he's been very busy this week, so I do appreciate his tending to that when he gets a chance. Those are kind of sort of our main questions.
So you have 3 questions, and at his leisure, I should say, when he gets an opportunity, as you said, he has been very busy, so if you would be so kind as to give him ample time to get back to you, I'm sure you'll get answers to all those questions.
Okay, Grant.
Thank you very much.
Have all those questions are part of your right to know?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have my right to know with me. I can look at that real quick.
As a right to know officer for the township, he's required within a certain number of days
Yes,
to
I was
respond
very
back.
specific as to what I was asking as well. I just wanted to understand whether the permit was a blanket. Is that something that can be answered tonight, or was there a permit issued per stand?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments from residents?
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane, and I'll start with Commissioner Myers' comment about the township, the Police Pension Association. As she said herself, she began, as people do, to just skim it, which we don't normally read all the fine print. It also is designed, even if you don't skim it, not to ascertain that this is not connected to the police at all. And it is designed to look as though it comes from the police. It doesn't, and I asked you last time if you could ascertain or if you could assure that they put in a phrase simply that says this is a separate organization and not collective with the Abington Police, because the card that's attached actually does say for Abington Police. Another concern with that is, why do we have some other entity collecting private and personal information, in other words, names of, secondary phone numbers and so on for people, that actually there's no guarantee that they're going to be kept confidential, and they look like they come from the police and are going into the police files. Okay? So that's a concern. I believe that there's a certain amount of almost fraud going on, in the sense that they are designed to look like something that they are not, and a lot of people are fooled.
Okay,
And
next,
it's a concern.
Okay, your next point, Mrs. Lehman, you ate up a minute of time unnecessarily, but go ahead.
Okay. So not being interrupted will help me not use up more minutes of time.
Go ahead, move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's another concern. The concern last week with Commissioner Spiegelman, apparently residents are chided and admonished when they do something that you find contrary to the rules. Last time, Commissioner Spiegelman called my comments asinine. I don't recall anybody.
Because they were.
Ms. Lehman, could we eliminate the names and just make your comment and move on, please?
My comment is about Commissioner Spiegelman. Everybody didn't call the comments asinine.
Well, this is...
Okay? It's about the person who did do that, and did the person who's in charge of this board admonish that person from doing it. He not only did it, but he did it from the chair. And I hope you'll acknowledge that from the chair, you are supposed to remain impartial, and you are supposed to give up the chair if you want to participate in the conversation at all.
Okay,
Am I correct in that?
Next point, ma'am, go ahead.
Am I correct in that?
Next point, this is not a debate, ma'am. Just make your statements and move
The
on.
debate is not when you ask a question. We agreed when we wrote the rules for speaking that residents would have an opportunity to ask questions, and
Ms.
they would
Lehman,
be answered
you're closing in
if
on
it
the
were
your
possible.
3-minute limit. Are you
Yes,
just
I
about
understand
done?
you'd like to shut me up as soon as possible, and I
I didn't say
understand
that.
why, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this township that should not be going on, and I
Okay.
think you know it. And that is part of the reason that it is going on.
Mrs. Lehman, are you
Because
finished?
residents are not allowed to speak with important issues.
Okay, your 3 minutes are up, ma'am. Thank you. Any other comments from residents? At this time, we'll take comments from commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Bowman.
No comment tonight, thank you.
Commissioner DiPlacido.
Thank you, President Luker. The weather's getting warmer outside, and our kids are at play. So please, when driving through Abington Township, drive like your kids live here. Thank you.
Commissioner Gillespie.
Just one comment. I'm so happy that, sad that Dee Dee is going, but happy that we did recognize her this evening. She was a wonderful asset to this township. She really built Briarbush to be what it is, and I'm glad that she was recognized, and hopefully everyone will honor Roger Wilson's family in some way. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hecker.
Thank you, President Luker. I have 3 brief comments. I mentioned earlier this evening about Rockwell Road. I had the opportunity to go by earlier this week and last weekend. The sidewalks are coming along really nicely. They look spectacular. So I wanted to thank Mike Powers and his staff for helping to coordinate all of this. It's really coming along. Secondly, the Overlook Elementary 6th grade class is going to be sponsoring a car wash Saturday, May 21st, beginning at 9:30. And the proceeds that are derived from the car wash will help defray the cost of their final trip for the year, in addition to additional PTO activities. So if your car is dirty like mine and you have needs, swing on by to Overlook Elementary. You might even see me in the parking lot hosing down vehicles. Yeah, thank you. And finally, thank you. And finally, I just wanted to say a brief mention of congratulations to our colleague Tom Farron, who is not here with us this evening. He is partaking in St. Joseph University's commencement ceremonies upon receipt of his PhD degree. So congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. Commissioner Collins.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you? So, as a CAP board member and a big sponsor of the 24-hour relay, which is next weekend, May 21st and 22nd, we see the signs out there, kids play here, kids at play, drive that way. We have sponsored those signs this year, so we're also asking for a pizza drive that we're doing for the kids at the midnight shift over at the high school. So if anybody's interested in donating to the 24-hour relay, that's the way you can do it. They're $8 a pie, and we have sponsor sheets, I'm sure, at the township office there, and I have some if I can email them to you. All right, thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner.
Yeah, one brief comment. I wanted to not take any thunder away, but also join Commissioner Myers in recognizing Stroke Awareness Month. Having dealt with 2 parents having strokes in the last 4 months, I realized that everybody should understand the signs of a stroke and get treatment as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein. Commissioner Zappone.
As a reminder to my residents, the 3rd annual Oldies Night will take place on Friday, May 20th from 7 to 11 at the North Penn VFW. You can contact me for ticket. I have the tickets at home. And also at the Ardsley Community Center. Tickets are on sale there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Spiegelman.
Echoing what Commissioner Klein said, again, not wanting to steal any thunder, I'm sure that Commissioner Myers is going to talk about Stroke Awareness Month. But as I expressed to Commissioner Myers, and as I know actually a lot of residents have expressed to me, in my family, we're also dealing with the after effects and rehab from a stroke. And Commissioner Myers, for very understandable personal reasons, has been so diligent about getting that information out during Stroke Awareness Month, but also just on Facebook throughout the year. And now seeing things from the other side, I want to, on my own behalf, but also on behalf of a number of Ward 11 residents who've contacted me, say thank you very much for that, Commissioner Myers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. President. No comment this evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Rothman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Briefly, want to invite the community to the Abington Art Center, having a Maker Mayhem event, showing the community various things that can be done in the new makerspace over there. It's a joint collaboration with Penn State Abington. That is May 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The majority of the events are free, but some of them have a cost for the materials. It's pretty nominal. Also, this weekend, we have the Stamp Hunger event, Stamp Out Hunger. So if you are so inclined, please leave some non-perishable items out in a bag next to your mailbox on Saturday morning, and your mail carrier will take that with them. And to answer a certain question I've received a few times, the food will go to a local
food covered. So it's not just going out somewhere and traveling, it'll help people right here. And finally, I doubt she's watching, but happy birthday, Mom.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Myers.
Thank you. Well, as you've heard, May is Stroke Awareness Month. This, of course, happened in my family 4 years ago, and had I known the signs, my life and my husband's life might be very different than it is now. So I urge everyone, please learn these signs, because the life you save will probably be somebody else's. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Markman.
No comment, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shriver.
Yeah, first off, I want to echo what Commissioner Gillespie was saying about Dee Dee. A wonderful woman. I spent a lot of time over the years with Dee Dee, and she is missed. She was missed from when she moved, but even more so now. I know her family will miss her. And also, I want to mention two different events that are coming up in May. Next Saturday, May 21st, is Roslyn Community Day. Many people have worked very hard, particularly Ed Michelow, running the committee that has formed to work on that day. So it's next Saturday at Roslyn Park from 12 to 6, and there's I can't even list all the events because there's so many of them going on, but the committee did a wonderful job on that. And so Roslyn residents, Saturday, May 21st. And we also have our Memorial Day Parade coming up on Monday, May 30th. It starts at 11 a.m. at St. John's Church. The parade, as usual, goes down Woodland Road, down Easton, Bradfield, and ends at Hillside Cemetery, where there is a very moving ceremony there. And so even if you can't make the parade, if you just want to go straight to the cemetery, I know people like to be on the parade route and get the candy thrown to them and all, but what happens in the cemetery is very moving, and you should all try to come out to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shriver. And lastly, I had the opportunity to attend the Citizens That Care recognition reception gala on Thursday, April the 28th. And they had quite a list of honorees, and one of whom was our own Doug Wendell. So Doug, congratulations. You're laid back, quiet, but you were very deserving of that award, and I wanted to thank you. And also, and of course, Officer Ron Griffith, who we all know and love, and he's done an excellent job. And piggybacking on what Commissioner Gillespie and Shriver said about Dee Dee Long and also Roger Wilson, I wanted to thank Doug Wendell and Office Manager Maria for giving me the information that was necessary to give Dee Dee her just due. Most of the commissioners on board, the board right now, I don't think knew Dee Dee, but for 31 years, she was the rock of Briar Bush and made it what it is today. So Maria and Doug, thank you for supplying me with that information, and also Manager Lefevre for the information on Roger Wilson and his family. So with that, if anyone has any questions regarding Roger Wilson's incident, you can contact the manager's office, and they'll give you direction on any donations you want to make to he and his family. So with that, if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and thank you all for attending.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,